Hey, it's Alexi, and in this video we're taking a look at the chord mode in the Oxi One MkII. And now the chord mode is a step sequencer mode, so it looks pretty much the same as a mono or poly sequencer, but functionally it's quite different. Basically each step is a chord. So when you place a step on the grid, you get a chord. Now there are a few different ways to add chords to the grid, and I will be showing you a few of them in this video. Now the chord mode can be used with a few different scales here. You can use it with chromatic scale, major, minor, Dorian, Phrygian, etc., pentatonic major, minor, harmonic minor, melodic minor, I think. And we will start with minor here. Okay, now the most straightforward way to add chords to the grid is to place a step on the grid. So if we place a step on here, we get a C3 minor. You see it flashing there for a second. And these rows are your scale degrees. So right now we've added the chord of the first degree here. I will add, let's say we'll add a fifth here, and a fourth here, and another one here. So now we have a basic 1, 5, 4 progression here. I will set the end point here and our track division to 1 bar, so we get a nice repeating chord progression going. So we'll press play, and now we're hearing a chord progression coming from the wave state. So now I can change to a different scale, and the chords will change with the scale selection. So we will stick with minor for now. Now when you're in this grid view, you can hold the step here and press page a couple of times, or you can press the step button here to get to this chord menu here, where you can see your chord type, your chord voicing, and your spread. So basically the first encoder can add spread to your chord. So this basically means that it adds higher notes to the chord. It's still, the chord stays the same, but it just adds more higher notes here. We'll set this to 5 and listen to what we get here. So you can hear that we're getting more high notes there. So the maximum number of notes is 8 per chord. Then we can change our chord type with the second encoder. We'll just make these, that's 7, this is a 7, 9, F7 sus to C minor 11. Let's see what this sounds like. And the final setting here is the voicing, which will change your chord inversion. Let's set these to something. The second inversion open, open voicing, first inversion, and this one to first inversion open. And let's audition. And yet another thing you can do is go into the chord menu by pressing Shift and the step button. We get this chord global menu. You can also get there by simply pressing step and paging, or pressing step several times to get to this menu. Now here we can globally set the spread. So I can lower the spread amount. So change the spread amount globally for each chord. We can also change the type globally for each chord. So this is a good way to get something basically maybe a little bit unexpected, maybe something that sounds nice. And then you can change your voicing globally as well. So it will change the voicing of all chords. And you have to, basically whenever you have this asterisk, you have to confirm your choice by pressing the encoder. And one more thing you can do here is add a bass note. Now when you set this to on, you get a bass added to the same MIDI channel you are on. So you can hear a lower note being added without and with bass. And now bass can be assigned also to a different MIDI channel, but for some reason you cannot assign it to a lower MIDI channel, you have to assign it to a higher one. I have no idea why, but that's just how it is. So basically right now I have this set to channel 4, which is my Korg Op6 on a bass preset. My Op6 is normally on channel 1, but now I had to change that to channel 4 to get this to work. So maybe that's something that could be changed in the future. But now when I press play, it will play the bass note on the Op6 and the rest of the chord on the wave state here. So let's listen. So you can hear that bass sound from the Op6. And one more thing you can do is, we'll actually set the bass to off and go back here, change the MIDI channel to 2, so we get the multi-poly there, and this is a pluckier sound. Get a different chord sound going. We can use the settings in the step sub-menu here. We can add repetitions, for example. So we'll add 6 repetitions to the first one. And a few repetitions to this one. And use the scatter or something. Now there's also a strum parameter here, which adds a kind of strumming effect to your chord. So we'll just add a bit of strum to this one. And let's press play. More strum. So that's strum, and of course you can use offset and the repetition probabilities here, and that's about it for the chords here. So next we will move to the keyboard view here. Now here you can play your chords on the keyboard. And we have a few different parameters here on these pads on here, the last 4 columns. Now first off, we have our chord type selection on these 2 columns here. So you can simply select your chord type here and audition them. So there are several different chord types. And you can just go through them here. And the blue one here is your voicing. So we can change our voicing on this column here. And then we also have an auto voicing function here. So when I play here, auto voicing is on. It will play notes in different places so that it's not as basically the change between the chords is not as jarring. So we turn the auto voicing off. It will simply have the root always as the lowest note and add the other notes above that. So often with the auto voicing you get a little bit more of a natural feeling progression here or sound. And then we have our spread parameter here on this green column. So you can spread up to spread 5. And one more thing here is the chord bank selection here. So we are in bank A. And we have different chord types here. And we can switch to bank B. Now the chord types are yet different. Bank B basically has slightly more dissonant chords. So you, depending on your note here, you get different chord types. And bank A is sort of less dissonant, more safe chords. You cannot mix and match chords from bank A and B, so you have to choose either bank A or bank B. So if you have chords on the grid and you switch banks, it will change the chords as well. Now the final little pad here is your modifier mute. So basically what this means is that when you're pressing these modifiers here, you get a preview of your chord. But if you turn this off, you don't get the preview. So it's basically up to you how you like that. So one more thing we can do here is we can play our chord and then go into the grid and add the chord. So now we have the chord we just played here, and then we can make another chord here. Let's say this one, spread, voicing, and go to the grid and add that one. So that's a very easy way to audition your chords before adding them to the grid. And one more thing we can do is we can save our chords here. So the top row here has basically 12 slots for saved chords. So let's say I want to save this chord to the first slot here. I'll simply hold and it will turn yellow. And let's make a different chord here. Like this, and hold, and it goes yellow. And you can clear them by holding, basically for a little longer time. You can clear the slot. I will put this back here. So now you can play your saved chords from these, and it will remember all your modifiers here. And once again, we can play this one and set it here. Play this one, set it here. So you can basically take your chords from the keyboard, put them in the grid, and then come back here and save more chords or audition different chords, and then add them to the grid. Now, one more thing we'll take a look at is the chromatic chord mode. Now, this one is different in that we'll actually turn these to default. This will have the same chord type for each step here. So basically, this type here is minor. So now we have a minor chord in each step here, or each note. And then we can choose a major. We get a major for each step. So in this chromatic chord mode, we can actually mix and match different chords, so we don't have to stay within the boundaries set by the scale in the Oxi One. So you can make maybe some more interesting chord progressions. We can also change our bank here and get slightly different chords again. And we can save them here. We'll just do like something like this. Remember to hold. And we'll have this one for the final one here. And again, we can just slot them in to the grid. Like this. Set our track to 1 bar and our gate to a longer gate. And we have a chord progression again. Now there's also, of course, the chord arpeggiator, but I have another video on the arpeggiators in the Oxi One MkII, so you can go check that out if you want to know more about the chord arpeggiator. So I think that's about it for the basic functions of the chord sequencer mode. This is one of my favorite things about the Oxi, because it makes it very easy to just make a more musical chord progression to basically build your tracks around. So I use this a lot just to have a more musical result than just, you know, random notes. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon.